Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be comparing a 2021 Ford F-150 Tremor to a 2021 Ford Raptor. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with both of the trucks. Check out their inventory and link below. Let's get straight into the video. Let's pop under the hoods of both of the trucks. Starting over here with the Tremor, we have a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6, goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 16 around town and then 20 on the highway, with power outlets being 400 horsepower and then 500 pound-feet of torque. Now going from that to the Raptor, we have a twin turbo 3.5 liter V6 as well. Now this is the high output version, so it's good for 450 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 15 around town and then 18 on the highway. Now the biggest reason the fuel economy is less than the Raptor is because it has a 4:10 axle ratio, whereas that has 3.73s. So that's the biggest reason why this gets worse fuel economy, especially on the highway. But anyways, that's under the hood of the Raptor. That's the Tremor. Now let's go to the front ends of both of the trucks. Starting over here with the Tremor, notice that we've got the stylized hood right here with kind of like the raised section there, and then the middle is a little bit higher, and then you've got the venting off to this side. Coming down below, we've got these LED lights here with the projector bulbs, and then we've got the gold accenting that's part of the Tremor package. Notice we've got the darkened Ford logo with the camera below the Ford logo, and then tow hooks to match. And then notice we do have the exposed skid plate to kind of make it have more of like an off-roader type look. And then you guys can see the fog lights off to the side, and then you can see the front on those all-terrain tires. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but that is the front end of the Tremor. Popping over to the Raptor, notice that again, stylized venting here with the Raptor logo looks a little bit more aggressive than what you have on the Tremor. And then coming down below, notice we have orange LED accent lights, but we still have projector bulbs for the headlights. Gigantic Ford logo with the camera at the bottom. Notice we have the marker lights and then off to the side, and then we do have fog lights as well, a little bit different than what you have on the Tremor. And then parking sensors here on the front, exposed skid plate. We've got the tow hooks as well, and then again you can see the all-terrain tires there in the front. But other than that, that is the front end on the Raptor and then the Tremor. Now let's start things off with the tires and wheels. Starting over here with the Tremor, we have the 18-inch wheels, 275mm tires wrapped around them, so pretty much 33s. Popping over to the Raptor, 17-inch wheels, we've got 315mm tires wrapped around them, aka 35s. And then you can see just how aggressive the tires are there on the Raptor. And then you can see over on the Tremor as well. But just notice, significantly thinner obviously, because it's not nearly as big of a tire. And you guys can see that there from the front end perspective, and I'll show you guys in the rear as well so you can see. But aside from that, notice the gigantic fender flares here with the Raptor, and then also with the Tremor, they just have like the bodywork that looks like a fender flare but no like real fender flare. And then also we've got venting on either side, and this one says Tremor on it. And then notice the mirrors, well, they are identical with both the trucks. We've got off-road side steps on both of them, but they look a little bit different. Look at the steps on the Raptor, kind of like the finer details. These, and then versus the steps on the Tremor, just looks a little bit different. And then also got the Tremor logo there on the back, and then again you can see the oversized fender flare. And obviously the Raptor has the wide body as well, so you guys can really see that here with the side view on both the trucks. But now let's jump into the suspension. Let's go over the shocks here with the trucks and the suspension as well. So popping over to the Tremor, we've got the monotube shocks up front. You can see that whole setup right there. And then popping to the back, got the twin tube dampers and then leaf springs. And then we'll pop to the back of the Raptor first, so you guys can see the 5-link coil suspension. And then we've got the live valve from Fox, and then show you guys over in the front again with the live valve. Now between the shock suspension and the wide body of the Raptor, we've got 14 inches of travel in the front, 15 in the rear. Got about 9 inches of travel over there with the Tremor, so significantly more travel with the Raptor. And obviously that live valve is going to soak things up quite a bit better compared to the monotube shocks in the front and then the twin tube there in the back. So here are the key fobs with both of the trucks. The only difference is the Raptor says Raptor on the back, and then the Tremor says Ford on the back. Other than that, the key fobs are identical, and we have the auto lowering tailgates on both of them. You just press those buttons twice and then that'll lower both of those down. But other than that, that's the key fob section. So let's pop into the beds. So let's go over the payload capacities of both of the trucks. So we've got 1147 over on the Raptor and 1548 over on the Tremor. And then from a towing capacity perspective, right around 11,000 pounds over there. And then we've got a towing capacity that is right around 8,000 pounds. So the Tremor has a higher payload, higher towing capacity. But anyways, popping over here to the bed of the Raptor, we still have the measuring table and everything here in the back. This one's got the Ford bed step as well. Notice we've got all the outlets here in the back, and then we do have the LED lights, and then you still have the LED cargo light there at the top. And then this person optioned out the bed liner from the factory. Now you do have to just lift up the tailgate yourself. This doesn't have like the auto lift up. And then popping over to the Tremor, notice again, still have the measuring table, still have the outlets, LED lights, still has an LED cargo light there at the top. But notice there's the red in the middle, whereas on the Raptor it's all white for stylistic purposes. And then again, still have to lift up the tailgate by yourself. Now let's finish things up here in the rear, starting over here with the Tremor. Obviously you got the Tremor logo, and then notice with the taillights themselves, full LEDs right here. We've got parking sensors along the bumper. They are body painted. We do have the recovery hooks there at the bottom, and then we've got the dual outlet exhausts here at the bottom as well. And then popping over to the Raptor, obviously again you can see the wide body right there. And then notice with the bumper, they've kind of changed the shape of it to help with clearance in the back end a little bit, obviously, but then the exhaust gets in the way, which is kind of funny. But aside from that, still have the recovery hooks, oversized exhaust tips, giant Ford logo there on the back. And well, that's the Raptor, that's the Tremor. So let's pop here into the back of both the trucks. We're gonna start over here with the Gen 3 Raptor. So notice we've got really nice leather trim where you're gonna rest your arm. And then up above, I really like this with the stitching and everything. It just makes it look a whole lot more premium. Now this one does have the carbon fiber added to it. So you guys can see that on the side. And then you got the regular Ford door handle, Bang & Olufsen sound system as well. And then you guys can see the seats right here. Notice that we've got the Alcantara here on that portion of the seat, and you got leather for the rest of the seat itself. And then you guys can see we've got heated seats for the back. We've got a bunch of charging ports. We've got the vents, cup holders, all that fun stuff. And well, that's the back of the Raptor. So yeah. Popping over here to the Tremor, you guys will notice that it's pretty much identical from a material use perspective. This doesn't feel as soft as what you have in the Raptor, though I will say that, which is kind of interesting. And this material up here though feels identical, and then instead of carbon fiber you get that, which looks pretty cool. Bang & Olufsen sound system still. And then notice the seats have a little bit more contrast because we've got all the gold as part of the Tremor package, and it's also like in the middle of the seat. But you guys will notice that all the seat controls, everything in the back is all the same. So a lot of similarities, but so yeah. Now let's go over the door panel here in the front of the Raptor. Really like the material use at the top again, and then the leather down below. All of our window controls, your mirror adjustments, memory seat function, again, more carbon fiber. The mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Bang & Olufsen sound system, Ford Performance logo. And then you got the front seats that has the speaker and the headrest, the Raptor logo, and then notice the Alcantara here on the sides as well. And the adjustment there on the side of the seat. Pedals down below, and then you've got your pedal adjustment, the brake, light controls, lights outside either side of the mirrors, the tailgate drop down. Steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and those nice side steps. Let's pop in. Built Ford tough. Raptor. Pretty cool stuff. But here is the steering wheel in the Raptor. So we've got the really nice leather all around the steering wheel with the red marker there at the top. And then over here, the camera will focus. You guys have the steering mode select, and then you've got the damper select as well, and then all of the exhaust modes on top of that. So a lot of customization right there. And then notice we've got our adaptive cruise control, volume controls, all that fun stuff. Raptor logo at the bottom. Gigantic paddle shifters for some shifting fun. And then you got the windshield wiper turn signal stock. And the steering feel, that's something that's a big difference between both these trucks. The Raptor definitely has like a heavier feel with the steering, and it feels a little bit more direct than what you have in the Tremor, and they kind of tuned that for the Raptor to make it drive sportier. But you guys can see the gauge cluster here in the center. You've got those menus. You can scroll through a couple of different bits of information here with the truck itself. And sorry about the focus, the sun's just crazy today. But anyways, we've got a few different drive modes. Gives me a fuel economy or fuel warning. We've got our normal, and then from normal we've got our sport, and then we've got our tow haul, and then we've got our slippery. And then on the other side, we've got our deep snow and sand, we've got our Baja, and then we've got our rock crawl. And I love how it gives you an animation with the different drive modes. And then with the steering modes, we have our, basically, again, we've got our normal, or sorry, I meant the dampers. We've got our normal, we've got our comfort, sport, and then the last one's the off-road steering mode. And then for the dampers, normal, sport, and then off-road. And then for the exhaust modes, you have the quiet, normal, sport, and then Baja. And it actually does make a significant difference. In quiet mode, it sounds like a regular F-150, and then in Baja, it sounds like what a Raptor should sound like. And then here at the top, you guys will notice that we've got a bunch of buttons up here. So we basically have the auto stop start button up there. We've got the camera button, and then we've got our parking assistance. We've got the hazard lights, stability control, and then kind of like the off-road cruise control. And then here is the center infotainment system itself. Popping into reverse, we've got the full 360 camera view. Notice we got the zoom function with that, but tons of different viewpoints here with the camera itself. I mean, you can literally see everything with the truck, so really solid from a camera perspective. And then moving from that to the rest of the infotainment system, you guys can see that really good response time. And this one has the power package. You have the Pro Power on board, and you can go into that and customize things there and let you know exactly what's happening with the system. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, you guys are familiar with the 12-inch display. Off to the side here, we've got our Pro Trailer Assist, and notice more carbon fiber right there. Trailer brake controls, and then this is our drive mode select, but then also the drive line select as well. So you guys can see with that, we do have a 4-wheel auto, as well as 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and then the locker for the rear. You've got your volume controls here, and then we've got our controls for the climate system, heated cooled seats, heated steering wheel up front, and then more carbon fiber here that covers the wireless phone charging area, all that fun stuff. Got the really nice shifter that folds down. Couple cup holders. We've got the center console, and then this one does have the tray that does fold out, and then you guys can see the glove boxes, and then notice again more carbon fiber there, and then the dash as well. Really nice stuff. And then finishing things here at the very top, we have the auxiliary switches, which are always fun to play with. Full panoramic sunroof in this truck. And then we've got the power sliding window as well, universal garage door openers. But yeah, that's a basic look at the Raptor. Now with the Tremor, I'm just going to show you guys the stuff that's different. Now let's go over the differences with the Tremor. So if I don't mention it, that means that, well, it's the same between both the trucks. So the stitching is a little bit different. And then obviously the whole kind of like seat design and everything's a little bit different. Not as bolsters as what you get in the Raptor, and then the coloration, all that stuff. And let's pop on. Still got the built Ford tub off. Obviously we don't get like the Raptor thing in the center like we did, because it's not a Raptor, it's a Tremor. Steering wheel's a little bit different. So like material use is pretty similar, but it's not as like fat and grippy as what you get in the Raptor. So it does feel a little bit different than the Raptor. Obviously we don't have the Raptor logo and all that. Different color of stitching, and then we don't have the paddle shifters here in the Tremor. Gauge cluster is all the same, but what I do want to show you guys is the different drive modes that you can go through. So you've got pretty much all the same drive modes, except you guys will notice that we're missing the Baja mode. But I mean, all the other drive modes pretty much the same between both of the trucks. And then there's less customization with this, so you can't customize the exhaust, you can't customize the steering, you can't customize the dampers like on the Raptor. And then you guys can see the controls here at the top are also a little bit different as well. So they kind of have everything kind of formatted just slightly different with that. I believe from the camera perspective they're identical. I'll just double check. Yep, all of that is the same between both of the trucks. And then still have all the controls here. Still have a locker, all that kind of stuff, 4-wheel auto. So everything is all the same throughout this section. Material use with this is a little bit different. And then with the stitching, a little bit different. This one doesn't have the fold-out center console, and then this one doesn't have the Pro Power Assist package as well. Then you guys can see the material use with that is a little bit different. Still get auxiliary switches though. So yeah, some differences, but a lot of similarities. Now let's get into pricing. So the Raptor stickers for about $78,000, and then the Tremor stickers for about $68,000. So there is a $10,000 price difference between both of the trucks. So normally this is where we pick a winner, but these trucks are so different that I really can't because there's two completely different buyers. This is if you want a more solid tow vehicle that you can do some off-road adventures with, but you're not going to be doing anything crazy. You're not going to do the high-speed Baja stuff or anything like that, just like camping trips and everything. This, on the other hand, right, not as capable from a truck perspective because it's got a lower payload, lower towing capacity. It's more of like a toy in a sense. Yes, it's very, very daily drivable, but this is the kind of truck that you get if you want to go and rip out in the desert, have tons of fun, do crazy off-roading. That's why it has so much travel. That's what has such advanced shocks, all that fun stuff. So if you're actually going to use the truck for fun, Raptor completely makes sense. But if you're just going to be going down dirt trails and you're mainly going to be towing and daily driving, save the 10 grand, go for the Tremor. And let's get some things up for our comparison between a 2021 Ford Raptor and a 2021 Ford F-150 Tremor. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for giving me some time with both the trucks. Check out the inventory and link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.